Previously on Ending Maker, our hero shattered the impossible trials, escaped the collapsing arena, and shattered the system's deadliest protocol, only to face an even darker enemy looming beyond the shattered horizon. And now, the story. Cordelia's teleport sickness locks them inside Frost Anvil's deadly cold. No rescue possible. Ice crystals form around the trio. Ivy shivers, clutching her stomach. Echo collapses to one knee, clutching his chest. Michael pulls a fur cloak from his pack, throws it over Ivy. The freeze threatens to freeze them solid, forcing them to act fast. They must stop the sickness before the ice turns them into statues. Echo looks around, spots a cracked wall, then mutters. He says the line. Ivy nods, still pale. Michael checks his compass. The trio realizes the entrance sealed, cutting off escape routes. Their option is to set up a base inside.
Seems we got here just fine.
Echo glances at Ivy, his breath fogging, and whispers, "Cordelia!" He seems unsure whether she's still herself after the teleport shock. Ivy steadies her cloak, meets his gaze, and gives a curt nod. Michael watches, ready to act. The question reveals lingering doubt about identities, which could affect teamwork. Cordelia smiles faintly, replies, "You too," and pulls the cloak tighter around herself. Their brief exchange ends, but the hidden Great Gate still waits to be sealed.
You too.
The Great Gate readies its magical traps for the incoming horde. Yuda pulls out the glowing tablet he found in the frozen vault. He taps the screen, and the title Ending Maker flashes in bright letters. The group stops, eyes widening. They realize the mysterious app has followed them into the Frost Anvil. If the app can rewrite endings, maybe it can rewrite the maze itself. Ending Maker. They wonder if the app can redraw the labyrinth's walls. Cordelia smirks, mentions even the rival Sandstorm knows the trick, then points out their growling stomachs. She urges them to eat before resuming mapping. Fueling up is crucial for the upcoming trap work.
You're hungry, right? Let's eat.
They hurry toward the kitchen as the frost wind howls. Yuma sighs, nods, and admits hunger, agreeing to join the meal. His compliance gives the group a chance to regroup. Eating now buys them time before the gate defense.
Fine, I'll eat now.
The group follows Cordelia deeper into the icy tunnel. Yuda steps forward, leads the trio through the freezing corridor, opening a heavy door to a cramped kitchen.
A low growl echoes from the shadows as a tiny rat darts past the gate seal, slipping through a narrow crack. The creature's escape signals a breach in their defenses. The team watches, realizing even the smallest intruder can open the path for bigger foes. Paragon's subordinate soon emerges, ready to exploit the gap. The massive demi-demon, Paragon's lieutenant, steps forward, its right hand crackling with dark energy. It snarls, eyes fixed on the trio, and prepares to strike. Their earlier lapse lets the demon advance, threatening to shatter the gate and flood the corridor with monsters. The heroes must act now or lose the Great Gate.
Cordelia tells Yuma that the Sunfire bloom will emit a scent that attracts monsters. Yuma groans, then asks how long until the bloom releases its smell. The warning forces them to reckon with an imminent monster wave.
Monsters will swarm when the Sunfire bloom scent spreads.
How long until it blooms?
The countdown to the bloom looms, and they must act fast. Yuda steps forward and states the bloom will open in 3 days. Cordelia presses, wondering if they can clear the nearby monsters before then. The time limit shapes their strategy and raises the stakes. 3 days. Cordelia etches a glowing sigil onto the frozen floor of the Frost Anvil, sealing the gate as Yuma frantically sets traps and declares his love, turning desperation into a desperate defense. Yuma's confession shatters his composure, forcing him to risk love for duty, while Cordelia's cool resolve masks her own fear of losing both the gate and the man she cares for. As the glowing sigil flickers, a hulking shadow looms beyond the tunnel mouth, and the unfinished enchantment circle trembles, leaving the gate's protection hanging by a thread. Every recap is written for fans who actually care about the lore. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari and never lose the plot. The 7th floor basement awakens, and the Sunfire bloom will kill anyone who reaches it. They finish breakfast in the damp hallway. Outboxer 009, wearing Uter's armor, pushes the plate away. Cordelia, still in Cordelia's gear, leans back and grins. They trade light comments about the meal and any carrots left. Breakfast was great today. My pleasure. Did you leave any carrots? They soon crave a proper bathroom before the descent. She wipes crumbs from her sleeve, then sighs. She mentions the food tasted excellent and that she slept soundly. She admits she used magic to keep clean, but now craves a real shower. Troops fall back in tight formation, pulling monsters toward the 2 already triggered traps. Para lies wounded, but the lure works. Monsters stumble into the spikes. The party buys precious seconds. The next wave of winter fairies appears behind them. Winter fairies flutter in from the rear while snow goblins pour in from the front. A massive herd of winter bears charges forward, shaking the floor. The onslaught forces the squad to split. Cordelia's distant signal hints a rescue plan. The group snarls, realizing they're isolated from their ally. Their only hope is to survive until Cordelia arrives. The looming blade demon shadow looms closer. Damn it! Far from Cordelia chase were stuck monsters. Cordelia raises her hand, dark energy crackling, and directs it at her opponent. The power sears into the target's flesh, imprinting the spell deep into bone. The victim winces as the magic binds, granting a potent boost but also a painful curse. This decisive strike changes the balance of power as the blade demon looms. I'll imprint it into your very bones. The frost Anvil shatters, releasing the blade demon's seal. The unveiling, which steps forward, lifts a dark staff and pours black energy into the shattered frost Anvil. The shards flare, forming a glowing seal that temporarily restrains the blade demon. The demon shudders as the seal pulses. Uter Bale sprints toward the glowing seal, sword drawn. Yoder pauses near the wreckage, eyes scanning the chaos. He tells Cordelia that after the demon is sealed, they must locate Cordelia Chase and Yuma Basel. He admits the situation feels desperate, but his mind stays sharp. He flashes a grin, then jokes that she might fall for him at this rate. You might fall for me. Their banter masks the urgency of finding the missing allies. Cordelia nods, still breathing heavily from the battle. Yoder says there's no need to keep her close the whole way now that she has enough energy. He points toward the tunnel leading deeper into the frost Anvil. He warns her to stay on his trail, lest the demon catch up. The group slides through the icy corridor. Snow dust swirls as they pass the seal. Light from frost Anvil pulses, illuminating 7 rings on floor. Each ring flickers, promising power if they survive. The party stops, eyes on the rings. The next step forces them to decide whether to claim the rings or press onward. A low growl echoes from the shadows. The blade demon's broken seal cracks, releasing a wisp of black smoke. The party freezes, weapons raised. The looming threat threatens to engulf them if they linger. The demon's resurgence forces a rapid decision before the corridor collapses. Uter shatters the blade demon's seal, just as they planned. Cordelia points at the massive trap on the floor. She notes its size matches a huge monster and the reward icon glows above it. The party agrees to head toward the mechanism, hoping to snag the beast for the prize. We go that way now, right? The hidden monster may awaken as they move forward. Cordelia discovers a narrow opening hidden behind a cracked stone. She pushes the wall aside, revealing a dark tunnel that leads directly to the Antony's oven. The group steps inside, eager to use the furnace to seal the blade demon. Secret passage to the oven. They brace for the furnace's heat and the next trap. A blue crystal shatters from the ceiling, morphing into an enchanted sword in Cordelia's grasp just as a colossal, ominous silhouette erupts behind the party, promising a deadly showdown. Cordelia feels triumph surge through her, the new blade humming with power, while the crew's morale spikes, yet the looming monster threatens to snatch their hard-won progress and any hope of safety. The massive silhouette steps forward, its shadow swallowing the furnace's glow, leaving the party frozen on the brink of battle, unsure if their newfound strength can repel the impending terror.
The arc is heating up and the uploads are getting faster. Subscribe to Manhwa with Harry. Now's the time.
The sealed gate collapses, and the phantom couple snatches the only power crystal. A blanket drapes over a stone slab. 2 steaming cups sit beside it. Outboxer 009 and Sandstorm lean over the blanket, each clutching a cup. The stolen crystal fuels their escape, raising the stakes as the world loses its last power source. Can they catch the phantom pair before the snow covers their tracks? Outboxer 009 spots fresh footprints beside a half-cleared path. Snow still clings to nearby rocks, showing the pair left moments ago. He points at the tracks, noting the lack of piled snow. Sandstorm nods, asking if they can outrun them. Outboxer 009 grabs a dented helmet stamped safety hat and places it on his head, joking that frost anvils mining past suits the gear. Sandstorm raises an eyebrow, noting the odd fit but appreciating the brief humor. The helmet could shield them from falling debris deeper in the ruins. Protective gear may become vital when danger intensifies. This hat fits the mining theme. A sudden tremor hints the white snake is waking. Outboxer 009 lifts the massive power spear, feeling its weight drag his shoulders. He grumbles that the spear is too clumsy for tight passages. Sandstorm agrees, saying the weapon's size hinders their progress and adds no benefit. Their argument highlights the burden of the oversized loot. Outboxer 009 nods, points upward, and says they can head straight to the 7th floor where the Sunfire bloom awaits. He urges quick movement before the white snake awakens. The Sunfire bloom's bloom will trigger the white snake's rise. Let's go to the Sunfire bloom now. Outboxer 009 stops, raises a hand, and says they can't enter the sealed gate yet. Cordelia nods, turning away from the entrance. They decide to search elsewhere for a way up. Delay matters because rushing could trigger the white snake. Ah, right. We can't go there right away. Now they hunt for the power spear hidden deeper inside Frost Anvil. Cordelia repeats their earlier warning, recalling a similar conversation. Cordelia points at the hulking form coiled in the shadows, confirming it is a cold-blooded animal, its scales cracked from previous battles. She remarks the creature is badly wounded yet still alive. Uter notes their location, the 7th floor of Frostenville, the ancient dwarves' sealed vault. She reminds them that snakes naturally hibernate, so the beast remains dormant as long as the chill persists. Their focus now shifts to preventing the Sunfire bloom from blooming. Uter leans closer, breathing shallow, and declares the white snake is sleeping deep. He warns that the moment the Sunfire bloom blossoms, its radiant energy will rouse the beast instantly. Arya explains, white mana stone holds demonic power, poison for normal people. The stone's magic could corrupt anyone who touches it, making it unusable for ordinary heroes.
White mana stone holds demonic power, poison for normal people.
Uter scoffs, calling it just a game mechanic. Uter shrugs, but that's just a setting in the game. He ignores the warning, assuming the stone's risk is merely a narrative flag. But that just a setting in the game. The group now faces the choice to wield the stone before the bloom erupts. Bale steps up to the glowing white mana stone, eyes fixed on its pulsing light. Reaches for the pulsing white mana stone, demanding Cordelia's permission to channel its power, while the ancient timer counts down the final minutes before the Sunfire bloom awakens. Cordelia risks her fragile hope of healing 9 meridians by letting absorb the stone, while teeters between gaining godlike power and succumbing to demonic corruption. With the timer's digits flashing toward 0 and the white mana stone's glow matching fingertips, the looming white snake threatens to burst forth, leaving their fate hanging on a breath-shortening second.
When the anime adaptation gets announced, you'll already know the whole story. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.
2 seconds left. The secret hallway on the 5th floor holds humanity's fate. Cordelia points at the glowing Sunfire bloom, grimacing. She declares she cannot act while absorbing its power and proposes a plan. I can't act absorbing Sunfire bloom. That's why I suggest this. She now urges a partner to share the absorption. Cordelia turns to Junwoo, eyes sharp. She holds out the mana stone, urging him to join her in the absorption. The countdown ticks, pressure mounting. Let's absorb the white snake's mana stone together now. They ready their spirits despite the looming threat. Cordelia examines the pale white snake stone, frowning. The HUD updates, displaying percent filled. Cordelia grunts, feeling power surge through her veins. 3 seconds remain, and the ritual's success hangs on the next breath. A sudden shout echoes, breaking the grim focus. Cordelia chants, each word punctuated by a sharp of. The mantra reverberates, the mana stone glows brighter, and the surrounding darkness quivers. A fire of blood, of will. Joan bursts in, breathless, announcing the Great Gate seal has broken. Cordelia shouts, "This is it." A blinding surge erupts from the bloom, cracking the Great Gate. Dark energy erupts, a demon's silhouette forming. This is it. The demon awakens, its roar promising a cataclysmic battle. The teammate replies with a short, "Yeah," and steps beside Cordelia, aligning their palms over the central rune. Together they channel their will into the fading stone, hoping to complete the absorption before the countdown ends. A distant roar echoes, hinting that the demon awakens beneath the ruins. Cordelia glances at the mana gauge, sees the number flicker, and asks the companion if it feels strange, indicating a possible malfunction that could ruin the ritual. Feels strange. The answer will force them to decide whether to adjust the mana flow.
Cordelia places the stone on the altar, its glow intensifying. The Sunfire bloom shatters, releasing bright petals. The white snake's mana stone pulses, sending waves through the tunnel. Debris falls as the demon claws the walls. The ritual timer ticks down as darkness presses in. You trudge through the frozen corpses, each step crushing bone. The iron scent of blood stings your nose. The air feels oppressively heavy. Snow-capped walls echo distant groans. The team pushes onward despite the grim scene. Ahead, the ritual's climax threatens to shatter their fragile hope. The mana stone erupts with blinding light, flooding the tunnel. The Sunfire bloom ignites, forming a fiery vortex.
Cordelia thrusts the mana stone into the ground, channeling its energy into the broken seal. A vortex of white light erupts, pushing back the demon's claws. Joan shouts, firing rapid arrows that embed into the vortex, stabilizing it. The ritual's power surges, but the cavern begins to crumble under the strain. A hidden trap door cracks open beneath them. A guttural laugh echoes from the shadows, the words "Exk LOL" distorted by the demon's voice. The sound rattles the remaining pillars, causing dust to tumble. The group freezes, realizing the demon is mocking their futile attempts. Their morale drops as the beast prepares its final attack. The demon raises its hand, ready to unleash a cataclysmic blast. Cordelia slams the mana stone into the broken seal, unleashing a vortex of white light that erupts from the Sunfire bloom. forcing the newly spawned crimson-eyed demon to recoil. Cordelia feels her throat tighten with dread as the demon's roar shatters the cavern. Realizing every second costs the group their only chance to seal the darkness forever. A guttural laugh, LOL, rasps from the demon, rattling the remaining pillars as the shadows close in, leaving the heroes teetering on the brink of annihilation.
100% pure story. 0% filler. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.
The demon cult surges. The Great Gate will seal before they seize the young master. Uter Bale and Lady Cordelia stand on a craggy ridge, eyes scanning the horizon. A tide of hooded cultists rush toward the gate, brandishing blood-stained blades. The gate's stone arches tremble, cracks spider across its surface. Dark sigils flare as the cult chants. Time ticks. If the gate closes, the cult will capture Uter and Cordelia forever. The awakened demon soon appears at Frost Anvil. Yuma points a trembling finger toward the shattered ice wall of Frost Anvil. A hulking demon erupts from the crack, its maw spewing black flame, horns curling upward. Frost shards shatter under its weight.
Uter smirks, grabs Yuma's sleeve. Yuma, if you're not done yet, I'll doodle on your face. Oh. He leans in, threatening a quick scar. Yuma snarls, refusing to stall any longer. Finish fast or get a face doodle. Cordelia bursts into a sharp laugh. Ha ha! The sound cuts through the cold, spurring Yuma to sprint faster. Their morale spikes as the demon remains frozen. The laugh fuels their next move toward the relic. Uter raises his hand, declares, I can't act while absorbing Sunfire bloom. He proposes, you absorb the white snake mana stone with me now. Cordelia nods, preparing to share the power. Their combined absorption could shatter the demon's paws. Absorb the stone together now. Yuma darts to a nearby cracked wall and spots a faint glow. He points, saying there's something hidden, a relic pulsing with white snake energy. The symbol shines like a lucky charm among the ruins. The relic could paralyze the demon if they claim it. Uter sprints toward the glowing relic, fingers stretching for it. The demon's massive claw arcs overhead, teeth bared. If he grabs the relic, they can paralyze the beast. Cordelia prepares to strike as the demon readies its next attack. A towering black tree monster erupts from the cracked ground, branches snarling like limbs. Its bark shimmers dark, eyes glowing red. The group freezes, stunned. What is that? A jet black tree monster. Uter attempts a second blow, but his aura flickers out. He swings with an empty hand, the sword slipping uselessly through air. The demon snarls, closing the gap, claws ready. Cordelia steps forward, shouting for him to retreat. Yuma watches, his eyes widening as the relic's glow wanes. The white snake eyes dim, losing their heat. The team feels the strain of depleted mana, and the creature prepares a lethal counterattack. Attack without any mana reached all the way here? The looming threat forces them to consider the guard's honor. Cordelia raises her voice, reminding everyone of the Holy Cross guard's honor. She points toward the shattered altar, where ancient symbols glow faintly. Uter grins, thrilled by his recent level up. He boasts that his 9 Meridian skills are now fully restored. Cordelia watches, unimpressed, as his pride grows. A lurking demon senses his arrogance and prepares to strike. Uter and Cordelia, near level, notice an abrupt 6-level jump after a faint monster encounter. They suspect the demon's hand is manipulating their growth. The revelation warns them of unseen influence. The awakened demon steps forward, ready to test their resolve. Demons pour through the broken seal of the Great Gate. Uter watches the black tide spill into the courtyard, his grin fading. Cordelia clenches her fists, realizing the gate's failure triggers an automatic troop deployment. Uter hurls the white snake eyes relic into the awakened demon's chest. The relic bursts, sending a pulse of light that cracks the seal on the Great Gate. Energy erupts, illuminating the ruined hallway. A floating timer appears, its digits flashing. Cordelia watches the countdown, her face tight,
The shattered seal means the gate will fully open in 15 minutes, letting a wave of demons pour through. We have 15 minutes. Yuter now races toward the control lever before the gate erupts. Yuter spreads a battered map on the stone floor, tracing a route to the control lever on the second floor. Yuter hurls the White Snake Eyes relic into the demon's chest, shattering the seal on the great gate as a blinding pulse of light erupts, while the floating timer flickers down to 5 minutes. Cordelia sacrifices her safety, slashing the inferno. Yet each blaze she parts strips away precious seconds, forcing Yuter to gamble the relic's power against the demon's fury. With the lever yanked and the gate trembling, the 5-minute timer ticks mercilessly, and the awakened demon roars, hinting at a catastrophic breach that could swallow the entire fortress. The flex in this chapter was unreal. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari to see who gets flexed on next. The seal shatters, crimson mist floods the chamber. Our perfect ending now demands another sacrifice. Jinwoo feels the ground tremble, sees broken Rune glowing, blood vapor swirling. He realizes the ancient seal that held the wind demon failed, and a life must be offered. Jinwoo's next move will force him to confront the blade demon looming ahead. Jinwoo drops to his knees, clutching the broken seal. Yuna kneels beside him, her eyes scanning the rune patterns. Miho pulls a handheld scanner, feeding data to Sora. They soon spot the first sealing rune flickering, warning of the demon's approach. The team steps into the foggy corridor, torchlight trembling. Jinwoo raises a sigil, forcing the sealing rune to glow brighter. The wind vortex expands. The Shirshir's massive silhouette emerges from the storm, blade humming. Its single slash arcs toward the remaining seals. The air ripples with its power. Cordelia leaps forward, sword raised. Cordelia darts ahead, brandishing her sword. She cracks a joke, masking the risk. She lunges at the demon, aiming to strike the weak point. The team watches, hearts racing. The demon reacts, preparing its final slash. Cordelia grimaces, "Ugh!" as the demon's blade sweeps past, barely missing her. The near miss shatters a minor rune. The team feels the pressure mounting. "Ugh!" The demon roars, unleashing a massive gust that sweeps across the chamber. Yuter shouts, pulling his comrades aside. The wind blade slashes through the air, shattering a third rune and sending shards of light scattering. The shattered seal releases a burst of raw energy that threatens to engulf the Pleiades sanctuary. Jinwoo lunges to bind the remaining runes, his fingers trembling. The director steps back, his device crackling with unstable power. "Everyone, watch out!" The final seal flickers, and the sanctuary trembles. Jinwoo rushes to the flickering final seal. His hand crackles with glyphs. He presses his palm onto the rune, forcing the light to surge. The demon lunges, claws snapping at the seal. Yuter points at a distant figure, eyes wide. He shouts, "Lady Cordelia!" "What? You mean that person there is?" The revelation shocks the team, forcing them to reassess allies. This matters because trust shifts in the heat of battle. "Lady Cordelia! What? You mean that person there is?" Yuter drives a single swift slash at the demon, mirroring its attack. The blow lands cleanly, disrupting the creature's momentum. Good. He only uses single slash attacks. Haste. Now they must bind the demon with its true name. A glowing glyph flashes on the floor. The characters read John. The team freezes, awaiting the cue to unleash the final seal. Cordelia prepares to speak the demon's true name. Yuter explains the challenge they face. He says Legend of Heroes includes an instance dungeon where the goal is to survive 50 seconds while the boss never lands a hit. He points to the mission description on the screen, emphasizing the strict no-damage rule.
A text box appears. The author admits that since March they felt tremors in both hands and suffer insomnia. They keep working while attending therapy. This reveals the creator's declining health, which threatens the story's continuation. The next line glitches, showing even ting corn flight. The corrupted text hints the author's mind is foggy, making communication difficult. It underscores how the illness disrupts even simple messages. A second glitch shows strange symbols Isri plus. The nonsensical characters illustrate the author's cognitive strain and the breakdown of clear expression. The worsening condition jeopardizes the series' coherence.
Brian exposes the corrupted manuscript, watches glitching text dissolve into jagged symbols, then leans over his sketchpad, erasing Jinwa's rough outline and redrawing it with sleek confidence, signaling a rebirth of Ending Maker. He risks spiraling further into illness, sacrificing rest for deadlines, yet clutches readers' faith and newfound purpose, feeling shame melt into resolve as he vows to repay their belief. The looming deadline looms, his health wanes, and the unfinished webtoon hangs in balance, leaving fans desperate to know whether his renewed sketch can outpace the looming hiatus. Hit subscribe on Manhwa with Hari right now. The next recap is closer than you think. She lured the demon, throwing herself into its line of sight as the timer ticked mercilessly. Shurshur rockets to the cavern's edge, arms outstretched, forcing the beast's hungry glare onto her alone. The monster snarls and lunges, claws gouging the stone. Shurshur holds her ground, a living beacon that the demon cannot ignore. Her daring sacrifice freezes the clock for the squad, buying them priceless seconds. Yuma taps her second gear boost, eyes blazing with resolve as she locks onto the creature. Yuma clenches her fists, summons the second gear surge, and pivots into a stance that sends a shockwave of blood through her veins. She draws a ragged breath, muscles coil, and the air ripples with raw speed. Yuda raises her staff, unleashing a barrier spell. The demons surge forward, shattering the nascent shield. She clenches her teeth, mutters a terse exclamation, and pivots to a different incantation. Her rapid adjustment stops the wave from breaching their formation. The team's defense hinges on her ability to adapt on the fly. Shurshur lunges forward, channeling the pose's power into a sweeping strike. Yuma yells a taunt, promising the demon more pain and excitement. The attack slams into the creature, cracking its armor. The blow pushes the demon toward the cliff edge, setting up a final showdown. They feel the ground tremble beneath them. All eyes lock on the monster's wavering balance.
Going to let you have a lot more fun. Ja.
The demon teeters, about to fall, as Yuma prepares the finishing move. Shurshur darts across the battlefield, speed doubled. She slips past Yuma's fireball, evading it with a blur. Her quickness forces the demon to pause, losing its target.
She's faster now.
Shurshur claws at the ground, muscles trembling, then forces herself upright. She winces, blood still dripping from her wounds, but refuses to collapse. Yuda steps forward, offering a hand to steady her. Keeping Shurshur alive is vital. She holds the key to their counterattack. Ugh! Shurshur and Yuma race against the shifting arena as Yuda's pulse stabilizes the ground, while the glitch hacker slams the corrupted code wall, forcing the terrain to recede. Shurshur clutches her wounded side, feeling the demon's black wave retreat, while Yuma watches helplessly, fearing she may fall forever if they cannot escape. Yuma hoists Shurshur onto his back and charges toward the flickering exit wall, but the arena collapses around them, leaving the looming, glitch-filled abyss threatening to swallow the trio. System notifications are about to go crazy. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. Mana drained. He faces the black-armored titan with only a fragile restraining spell. Yuma channels a thin white snake barrier around the monster, but the spell flickers. The party circles the beast, their mana gauges near empty. Shurshur OT raises its massive blade, ready to crush them. They must buy time to cross the wall and seal the core before the titan breaks free. Yuma's next move could open the second gate. Yuma grabs the wounded teammate, hoists them onto his back, and sprints toward the cracked barrier. He shouts that they must cross the wall and give the injured person some care before the titan strikes. The rest of the squad readies their weapons, covering his advance. A faint glow pulses from the app on Jinwa's wrist, the screen flashing the words, Ending Maker. The interface hums, overlaying the battlefield with a translucent grid. The symbol pulses in sync with the monster's heartbeat, hinting the program can rewrite this outcome. The app's presence suggests a hidden option beyond brute force. Tension spikes as the party watches the restrained beast, waiting for the next command. Voices crackle over the battlefield, each trying to assert control.
What? What do you mean? Thanks for waiting. Not sure you were waiting like a good little villain. Waiting for the hero's transformation.
The rivals trade barbs while the seal tightens. Yuma points to the gate, declares the raid rule. All attacks must land within the gate's radius, forcing close combat.
The rule for the Shurshur OT raid.
They prepare to exploit the narrowed range. Yuma thrusts his palm forward. The gate bursts into blue light. The Shirshir OT swings its massive arm, but the gate's barrier shortens the slash distance. Jinwoo sprints into the narrowed zone, sword drawn. The team moves as one, ready to strike where the monster's armor is exposed. This forces the fight into close range, the only way to damage the core. Jinwoo's next move will test their timing. Jinwoo nods, grips his blade tighter, and says, "Okay." Jinwoo thrusts his sword into the exposed core. The armor cracks, light bursts, and the monster collapses. The gate's barrier flickers and fades. A dark silhouette appears behind the dying monster. The silhouette moves, hinting at a deeper danger. Cordelia rushes forward, matches Jin with speed, and lands a crushing blow on the monster. Her strike outpaces Jinwoo's. She proves she can rival the top pro. Cordelia's power threatens to eclipse Jinwoo's lead. Jinwoo channels his remaining mana, releases a blinding nova from his sword, engulfing the monster's core. The explosion shatters the remaining armor. The monster's true form flickers before the blast. Cordelia smirks, bragging about her dominance, while the team watches. Yuma declares he isn't alone, and a second figure emerges from the shadows. The newcomer joins the fight, adding a fresh spell to the fray.
I'm not here alone.
The new ally prepares a binding spell on the monster. The sunrise glints over the arena. The word morning flickers across the sky. The final gate readies, promising a drastic shift in the battle. The next phase will force Shirshir OT into a new, deadly form. Shirshir OT lifts its massive claw, black armor reflecting the sunrise. The final gate's sigil flares bright, casting a crimson halo over the arena. The new monster silhouette looms above the arena, black mist spilling from its form. Jinwoo, Cordelia, and Yuma watch as their mana gauges flicker dangerously low. The looming evolution threatens a second, deadlier phase. Yuma readies a taunt as the creature snarls. Yuma steps close to Jinwoo, eyes narrowed, and points at his shocked posture after the sudden ambush. He grins, recalling the battle's chaos.
I knew you looked this way after reacting to that ambush.
Yuma then promises to reveal his secret weapon. Yuma lifts his palm, and a cascade of luminous white serpents erupts, spiraling around his staff like living ribbons in the dim arena.
Now then.
The final gate erupts, unleashing a wave of dark energy that cracks Shirshir OT's black armor, while a colossal, mist-shrouded silhouette rises, hinting at an unfinished evolution threatening the arena. Yuma's dazzling white serpents seal the monster's core, leaving Jinwoo awestruck as he confronts his own limits, questioning how a mortal can command such divine magic while his mana dwindles dangerously. A shouted name from Jinwoo spurs Yuma forward, but the monster's cracked core pulses ominously, promising a second, deadlier surge that could overwhelm the team if they fail to strike before the darkness erupts again.
There was a hidden detail in this chapter you probably missed. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry, and I'll reveal it next time.
Seconds remain. The sky erupts, his hand shakes. Yuma shouts, sprinting toward the shattered plaza. He spots a flickering rune on the ground. He grabs it, hoping it helps. The rune pulses with strange energy.
Yuma!
The glowing ring on the ground catches their eyes, promising a chance to change the ending. Yuma, Yuda, and Cordelia circle the rune. The ground cracks, spilling a bright ring. The dying demon nearby fades as its name erases from the record. They rush to grab the ring before it vanishes. Its light shows an inscription, urging them onward. Shirshir Ono's stone appears, sparking a new clue. Yuda kneels, lifts a smooth gray stone from the rubble. Yuda steps closer to the demon, hand hovering over the ring, eyes fixed on the glowing count. He adjusts his stance, prepares to pull the ring. Cordelia remains alert, scanning for enemies. The tension rises as they wait for the next ring to appear. Yuma asks about the ring tally, pressing for quick action. Yuma's voice cuts through the crackling air. He points at the spot where the demon fell, urging the team to drop down. He demands the exact number of rings to gauge their progress. The answer will determine their next move.
Did you catch him? Ring pop up? Let's go down. How many?
Yuda reports the count, hinting at a new ring emerging. Yuda suddenly realizes the ring's energy is draining their mana faster than expected. He warns the others to act before they become helpless. Oh, come to think of it. Yuda pulls a tattered map, points to the kingdom's heart, declares the center holds the record's core. They must reach it before the collapse. This matters because the core can restore erased names. The center of kingdom holds the record. They sprint toward the city center. Cordelia steps forward, eyes flashing, declares the promised sacrifice must be delivered here. She grips her blade, ready to protect. This matters because the sacrifice could seal the record's break.
The sacrifice must be here.
Cordelia readies herself for the sacrifice. Yuma shouts direction, pointing toward the northern towers, urging the troops northward. They pivot, marching as a unit. Miss Seleucia seizes command, pointing southward as the northern troops surge forward, while Yuda drags a struggling Cordelia away from the altar, and a blue glow spreads from the southern marker, exposing hidden tunnels. Cordelia teeters between death and salvation. Yuda's grip becomes her last hope, and Miss Seleucia's ruthless resolve forces her to risk everything, risking the kingdom's fragile peace for a single life. As the blue light reveals subterranean passages, the record's collapse looms, and the enemy watches, leaving Cordelia's fate and the Northern Army's true destination shrouded in deadly uncertainty.
Embrace the chaos. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.
The demon's name scorches the scroll, sealing the exit with dwarven traps. Sir orders the party forward. Gear clicks. The parchment ignites, cutting off their only retreat. They must fight inside. The sealed path forces them deeper into Frost Anvil. The party steps into the frost-capped hallway. Sir leads, followed by Lady Cordelia and the others. The cold bites their faces, reminding them the cavern is hostile. Their progress slows on the icy floor. Ahead, a distant roar hints at the demon's hand. Lady Cordelia and Sir step onto a concealed pressure plate. The stone clicks, and a spear shoots from the wall. The party scrambles to avoid the blade. Cordelia blinks. Vision blurs as she overexerts her sight. She steadies herself, feeling the light dim, then pulse back slowly. The strain risks longer recovery, but she refuses to pause. Her determination fuels the team's morale. The next move must use the true name quickly. Sir lifts a loose stone, exposing a deeper tunnel. Cordelia leans forward, listening to distant echoes of the demon's followers. A faint glow from the Sunfire bloom flickers on the walls. Their path narrows, forcing tighter coordination. The demon's minions close in behind them. Cordelia turns to Sir, voice steady. She promises to watch over her fiancé once the battle ends. A glowing sigil flashes above the stone. Ending Maker. The symbol pulses, binding the scene with a faint electronic hum. The party feels a strange tug, as if the story itself is being rewritten. Their fate now hangs on the app's hidden code. The stone cracks and a massive demon bursts forward, claws extended. The snarls, eyes burning. The party staggers, weapons raised. Facing the demon now decides if they survive. The demon's roar hints at the ancient trap's awakening. The demon opens its maw. A jagged koa erupts, unleashing a wave of black energy. The wave slams into the scout, knocking him down. The blast threatens to engulf the group. Knights and guards tumble. Wounded bodies litter the floor. Yuda watches, his eyes widening as he notes the mounting death toll. He knows the group cannot afford such losses. The next wave of enemies closes in on the battered line. Shirshir OT lifts his hammer, sending a shockwave across the battlefield. The wave slams into a line of guards, knocking them flat. Dust rises, exposing stunned knights behind them. The shockwave clears a path toward the Sunfire bloom. Cordelia clutches her temples, eyes flickering as her vision blurs. Yuda steps close, his hand hovering near her shoulder, his face tight with remorse. He lowers his head, offering silent support.
Cordelia steadies herself, grips her sword and says Yuda saved her during that same collapse. She looks at his bruised arm, feeling a surge of relief. Their mutual rescue sparks a brief smile despite the gloom. This exchange lifts morale just as another hidden trap clicks awake. You saved me. Yuda will now thank her, sealing their pact. Yuda smiles faintly, nods, and thanks Cordelia for pulling him back. He tightens his grip on his weapon, ready to follow her lead into the next chamber. Their gratitude fuels determination, a small beacon against the looming darkness. This moment of thanks buys them a second before the demon's true name is finally spoken. So thanks for that. Yuda flips the ancient parchment, eyes scanning the faded script. He points to a name, whispers it aloud. The ground trembles as a massive demon erupts from the stone floor, claws scrabbling. Dwarven trap gears click, releasing a burst of spears that slice through the demon's minions. Yuda's quick move reveals the hidden true name, giving the team a chance. Cordelia prepares her next move as the demon staggers. Yuma Bell steps forward, eyes bright, and declares she's really happy right now, despite the chaos. She raises a hand toward the Sunfire bloom, smiling at the team's survival. Her optimism lifts morale, giving the group a brief respite.
Cordelia hoists the Sunfire bloom shard as the ground trembles. A massive demon erupts from the stone floor, and the ancient dwarf trap gears grind into motion, threatening to seal their escape. Yuda watches Cordelia's trembling resolve, fearing the shard's power will blind her forever, while Yuma Bell beams optimism, declaring their survival triumphs over chaos, their morale hanging on fragile hope. The demon's claws scrape the cavern walls, the hidden exit flickers in the moonlit map, and the ancient name Yuda whispers summons an unseen force, leaving their fate trembling on the brink.
He started at the bottom. Now watch him climb. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.